Let me introduce you to a little album called Rabbit Cradle by HCMJ. This album is the definition of a hidden gem. It has the aura of a mysterious tape that you would find in the middle of nowhere and then put on and just have the most otherworldly experience listening to it. The album is mostly instrumental, and when there are lyrics, they're mostly indiscernible. But despite this, the album has an extremely vivid story to it, and so long as you're paying attention, you'll be engrossed in this story, because it's an amazing one. The album is a journey, and I don't think there's many other albums that I could say sucked me in the same way that this one did. I don't know exactly what to call the album. It's a folk album, but it's also an electronic album, and there's like industrial moments, ambient moments, many different influences, but it makes up a very unique experience anyway. The album may have a nice name that evokes warm feelings, but that's deceiving. This album will probably spook you, but I don't want to spoil too much just yet. I think I'll just go through the album track by track and give both a description of what the tracks are like and also tell the story of the album as I go along. You Should Not Be Here is very menacing. The title should be taken very literally. You've stumbled across something you, as an ordinary human, were never supposed to find. Whether you realise it yet or not, you're being watched. I like to imagine it's like a burrow you've found, big enough for a man to fit through. You follow it along with mixed feelings, curiosity, wonder, but also a small sense of dread. We as listeners are however aware that he is not supposed to be there, so for us we feel this dread much stronger. The music of this track is built up from interweaving drones and repetitive ominous tape loops that evoke a sense of cold unease, as well as these scraping, squirming electronics. This track does a great job at building up a level of suspense. You're then reaching the end of this burrow. Your heart beats faster out of apprehension. You just see light shining strongly and can't tell what's through it. We move on to the song Conditions of the Rabbit, which is a folk song that reminds me of White Light, Love of Life era swans, like Song for Dead Time or that one untitled interlude off Love of Life. This song is absolutely beautiful. With these childlike vocals, it's so otherworldly jovial, like it's inviting you in. In terms of our story, with the song we reach the other end of the burrow, and we look out and see a fairy tale land like out of a storybook. Lots of fairy tale creatures, like the animals back home, but they walk on two legs. We stare at them in awe and think to ourselves, they're real? The attentive will realise there's like an underlying foreshadowing in this song, by which I mean you can still sense that something is wrong, but compared to the last track, it's so blissful and mystical and full of beauty. Finding this place has affected you profoundly, and you're intoxicated by your discovery. You at this moment feel only awe and wonder. This track is so effective after such a volatile start to the album. You can't make out any of the lyrics on this song, which I figure is intentional, because what's likely being said are, like the title says, the conditions of the rabbit who will become involved in this plot soon enough. And so we won't spoil that yet. The conditions of the rabbit are basically the rules being read out to you, but as you don't understand them, you kinda fuck. We then reach In Hiding, in which all of the animals disappear, jumping into bushes and burrows, travelling through the undergrowth and the trees, and you hear rustling all around you. You get the sense they are coming for you, and so you start moving. The feeling of the track is that you're being pursued. You're realising you're in danger, and then you snap out of the trance-like state you were in. It's a song that makes you feel like you're being stalked like prey. You're breathing frantically, starting to panic. This song is just a short interlude really, which leads into Gaunt Menagerie, a terrifying song in which the animals come out, they link arms, they dance around you. Seeing them up close, their faces are morbid, their forms are twisted and wrong. You are horrified. They move in on you. You keep moving, but they come out of various places and you have to change your path. The song has this piercing, sharp and loud synth which really stabs in the urgency of the situation. You begin to hear their uncanny, inhuman voices chanting. You keep running, in total fight or flight mode, not thinking rationally about why they don't just kill you, not thinking about where they may be directing you. Really such a huge sense of danger with this track, very daunting and disturbing. It feels like a cold sweat. The voices in this track really are so twisted to me. I remember just how horrible they made me feel listening to this for the first time. Very, very uncomfortable and sinister track. Next we reach The Rabbit Sleeps, a very strange folk song that's kind of like despondent and uses a lot of silence. Suddenly we've escaped, we've plunged into some sort of den. Looking out of the windows, we don't see any animals. We find in the song a sense of security, having escaped danger, and finding a sense of familiarity within the den. We think maybe there's a human living out here, and then we hear noises in this den. And we move through with caution, but with curiosity, until we find a room in which we see a large rabbit sleeping. This is the rabbit. Little do we know we've been lured here. We stand in awe at the size of this creature, sleeping so soundly, so peacefully, but then his eyes open, his red glaring eyes, practically giving us a heart attack. We stumble and fall back, crashing through some floorboards and falling a great distance, being knocked unconscious, but escaping immediate danger. We then go into Bog of Fireflies, my personal favourite song on the album. It's absolutely beautiful with this magical piano playing and mysterious synths. In this song we have regained consciousness and have found ourselves in an underground cave where there is a bog, a swamp with fireflies everywhere. The sight is absolutely beautiful to us. We carry on and see absolutely wondrous things, giant mushrooms, magical fairy tale things you thought you would never see with your own eyes. You are terrified by the experiences you've just had and should be consumed by dread. You know that you're not going to make it out of this place alive, but in this moment it's as if that doesn't matter to you, because the experiences you're having are the most important and profound experiences you've had in your entire life. You look with tears in your eyes because you're astonished by the beauty of it all. Such a beauty that it can encapsulate you even when your life is on the line. You navigate this cave, but you take your time. You walk slow, taking it all in. This song is so amazing to me because it has the most beautiful feeling to it, while still maintaining all of the dread we've carried into this track. The mix of emotions it makes me feel is extraordinary and a totally unique experience. After walking for some time, we see light and fog, and we crawl out of the cave. Our eyes now catching another extraordinary thing. We move into Ghosts Slowly Turning, a slow and drawn out folk song that is absolutely beautiful and has this building emotion throughout it, with ghostly vocals gliding alongside. In this song we are walking down the side of a lake, a heavy fog covering everything, and you begin to see shapes in that fog, spectral figures, they're ghosts. And walking down this route, you are covered in chills looking at all of them. Experiencing firsthand something so interlinked with death, it drills into you the knowledge that death is moments away from you. You walk and you see all of these ghosts floating across the lake. Their forms are that of humans like you, people who have already met the fate that you know waits in store for you. Looking at them, you'll understand everything. Your eyes are wide open, just watching them in awe and dread and terror. But again, it's something that you find beautiful and something where you're actually thankful for being able to experience it. I get covered in chills listening to this song. I know I said the last song is my favourite, but this might be better actually. It's just so fucking deep. The way the bass plods along in the track, the way the ethereal vocals glide by, the way the electronics sort of shriek. It's like it's all representing different emotions you are feeling so strongly. I love that it gives you so much time to just let it all sink in. And then suddenly the fog rolls back, the ghosts are gone, and you are alone, left to carry on your journey. Or you just stand there, feeling now just depressed, full of dread, and alone. We now move on to Birds. After some time just standing alone unmoving, you hear a noise of much movement. You see in the sky a huge flock of birds, nearing closer and closer. Fight or flight kicks in again, and you start running, and you end up running through a forest. This song quickly transitions into Surrounded. See if you can guess what happens on this song. That's right, you get surrounded. The animals start dancing around you. They brought their instruments this time, however, for the feast. It's a joyous occasion for them. They close in around you, and the sound of their music grows louder and louder as they laugh and chirp and squeak in their mocking tones and their uncanny language. You try to get away the best you can, but the animals are everywhere in this forest. Their playing begins to get frantic as the moment they've been treasuring draws near. And then just like that, they've done you in. and the last thing you experience on this earth are those vile instruments of theirs, growing more distorted and blurry as consciousness fades. We are then given a few moments after this to sit with what has happened. Birds chirp and animals laugh, and the environment has grown once again devoid of any humanity. We then move on to the final song, In the Woods, a folk song with actually discernible lyrics, though it is hard to catch them all. Everything is bright in the woods. This is an incredibly eerie song that feels like it's bait, that its existence serves to lure more people to meet the same horrific end that our protagonist has. It's like the track is giving you directions and is telling you straight white lies about how appealing the woods are. We know better though, having understood this album. Perhaps this album would eat alive those less discerning. It's as if this track is some twisted advertisement trying to sell us the experience of everything we've just witnessed in a pretty parcel. And for that reason, it feels totally uncanny, like skinwalker tactics. Not being able to realize how transparently malicious this is to the human senses. As I said earlier, this album feels like it should be some tape you find, like in an abandoned shack in the middle of the wilderness or something. It's very convincing at the type of shit it's doing. The environmental storytelling is the best on any album I've ever listened to the point it just feels real. The music feels alive, like everything that happened on this album really did happen and was recorded somehow, and then translated into what we've heard. Utterly vivid experience of an album, and extremely profound. Makes me feel ways I don't know if I've ever felt before. And on top of this, it's actually scary as well. And you might be thinking, but Catman, in the Consume Red video, you made fun of people for finding music scary. Yeah, I did. Catman is not scared of albums, but this one is an exception. This album scared the shit out of me when I first listened to it, and it's still effective on re-listens too. The album is just about the most immersive music ever really. It has such a grasp on my emotions too. You really feel like you're being stalked and pursued, and like you're in danger listening to this album. And you really feel like you're adventuring into the unknown. In terms of musicality, it's fantastic. Much of it is folk oriented, but often very tribal. And it utilizes many things such as drones, tape music, industrial, and noise into the atmosphere. And none of them feel jank or shoehorned. They all add to the experience and often represent things within the story. Like the little electronic sounds represent the birds chirping and stuff like that. All of this works together very well. The atmosphere is never broken, except when it is on purpose, like with the jump scare. Really, the album impresses me so much. It's profound. Now for the bombshell. HCMJ is actually James Webster of Death's Dynamic Shroud fame. Before he started making Vaporwave and all that, he made this awesome album. Given who made it, all that would have to happen for this album to get the recognition it deserves is that the fans realize it exists and spread it among themselves. I mean, they're primed to love it. It's kind of why I made this video as well. I believe this album should be seen as a classic really, but it also does thrive in obscurity with just how mysterious it is. I'll give this album 10 cats out of a possible 10 cats. I love it so much. There is a more recent mix of this album they released in 2022, but I won't recommend listening to that over the original. It loses something. The OG feels much more authentic, likely because it was all made with analog shit only. It does however have some bonus tracks that are kinda cool, but they're more like demos and sketches and don't really factor into the concept of the album. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for this review. Subscribe to the Catman Show, leave a like, leave a comment. Goodbye.